Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. Who's the loudest voice in your life right now? It's not your boss. It's not your partner. It's not even the naysayers on the sidelines. No, it's you. It's the voice in your head, the one you listen to from the moment you wake up to the second you lay your head down at night. And let me tell you something. That voice can either be your greatest ally or your most brutal enemy. Self-talk is one of the most powerful tools we have, yet so many of us use it against ourselves. The way you speak to yourself doesn't just reflect your mindset, it defines it. Your words set the tone for your actions, your confidence, and ultimately, your destiny. If you want to change your life, you have to start with the conversation you're having in your own mind. The conversations we have with ourselves are the quiet forces shaping our decisions, actions, and outcomes. Think about it. Before anyone else believes in you, hires you, or trusts you, it's your own belief in yourself that sets the stage. Winners and achievers didn't stumble into success. They spoke it into existence long before it became a reality. On the flip side, those who settle, who give up, or who stop trying often do so because their inner dialogue is filled with doubt, fear, and hesitation. The difference isn't talent, resources, or luck. It's the way they speak to themselves. Your internal dialogue is your greatest tool or your greatest obstacle. It's time to use it to lift yourself up, not tear yourself down. Imagine this. Just 3 days of shifting the way you talk to yourself could set you on a completely new trajectory. That's not a motivational gimmick. It's a challenge rooted in the power of focus and consistency. For 3 days, I want you to pay close attention to your inner voice. Catch those moments when you say, "I'm not good enough," or "I'll never succeed." Stop yourself. Replace them with affirmations like, "I have what it takes," or "I am capable of achieving my goals." It's not about pretending life is perfect. It's about giving yourself the tools to face it head on. Your thoughts are calling to action more and more. The mind is incredibly adaptable. When you commit to practicing positive self-talk for 3 days, you begin to create a habit, a momentum that builds over time. These 3 days aren't just about temporary change. They're the foundation for something bigger, a mindset that empowers you to thrive. Your brain is a powerful, adaptive machine, but here's the thing. It doesn't differentiate between what's true and what's repeated. Whatever you tell yourself consistently, your brain accepts as fact and works to make it your reality. If you say, "I'm not smart enough for this," your brain starts searching for evidence to support that belief. But if you say, "I'm resourceful and I'll figure it out," your brain will work just as hard to prove that true. Think of your mind as fertile soil. Whatever seeds you plant, whether they're positive affirmations or negative self-doubt, will grow. It's not about magic. It's about biology. Your thoughts influence your perception, your emotions, and even the choices you make every day. The words you use with yourself are the instructions you give your brain. And over time, those instructions shape your identity and your reality. By changing the way you talk to yourself, even for a short time, you start to rewire your brain to look for possibilities instead of obstacles. And that's the foundation of real transformation. Negative self-talk doesn't just appear out of nowhere. It's often a deeply ingrained habit, one that feeds on past failures, criticism, or fear. But like any habit, it can be replaced with something better. The first step is recognizing those moments when negativity sneaks in. When you hear that voice saying you'll never make it, or why even try, pause, challenge it. Ask yourself, is this thought helping me or holding me back? Now here's the game changer. Instead of just silencing that negativity, actively replace it with something constructive. For example, if your inner critic says, I'm not good at this, counter it with, I'm learning and every step gets me closer to mastery. When your mind says, I'm too scared, remind yourself, courage isn't the absence of fear, it's taking action despite it. This isn't about pretending that everything is perfect. It's about choosing to focus on what builds you up rather than tears you down. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. Over time, you'll notice a shift, not just in how you think, but in how you feel and what you achieve. It's a process, but it all starts with that simple choice to challenge the negativity and replace it with positivity. Affirmations are more than just words. They're powerful tools that shape your mindset and fuel your confidence. When you repeat positive affirmations, you're not just speaking into the void, you're programming your mind to believe in your own potential. Think of affirmations as the anchor that keeps you steady during the storms of doubt and uncertainty. For instance, saying, I am worthy of success isn't just a statement, it's a declaration. It tells your mind to stop focusing on fear and start focusing on possibility. It reminds you that you're not defined by your mistakes or setbacks. Instead, you're someone who learns, grows, and overcomes. Motivation is your source, the grit that keeps you going but here's the key. Affirmations must be specific and meaningful to you. Instead of vague statements like, I'll do better, say, I am capable of handling challenges with strength and clarity. Make it personal. Say it with conviction. Even if you don't fully believe it yet, the act of saying it starts to plant the seed of belief. When you make affirmations part of your daily routine, they act as fuel for your actions. They shift your energy and mindset, allowing you to approach life with more courage and focus. Over time, you'll see the ripple effect, how these simple, powerful statements begin to transform your thoughts, your actions, and ultimately your results. And that's why you need to embark on a road to success. I can't. These two little words have crushed more dreams, silenced more voices, and stopped more progress than just about anything else. But what if you decided to replace I can't with something more empowering like I will? That simple shift in language might seem small, but its impact is profound. When you say I can't, you're telling your mind to give up, to stop looking for solutions, and to accept defeat. But when you say I will, you're igniting a spark of determination. You're telling your mind to push forward, to find a way, and to embrace the possibility of success. It's like flipping a switch from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. Here's the thing, I can't often hides fear, fear of failure, fear of judgment, or fear of the unknown. But replacing it with I will acknowledges the fear while choosing to move through it. It's not about ignoring challenges. It's about affirming your ability to rise above them. Try it the next time you feel stuck. Instead of saying, I can't learn this, say, I will figure this out step by step. Instead of, I can't get through this day, say, I will handle this moment by moment. This simple language shift can change how you approach problems, unlock new levels of resilience, and help you take control of your own story. Your words don't just stay in your mind. They create a ripple effect throughout your entire body. Science has shown that the way you talk to yourself can directly influence your brain chemistry, your hormones, and even your physical health. When you feed yourself negative, defeating thoughts like I'm not enough or I'll never succeed, your body responds by releasing stress hormones like cortisol, which weaken your immune system, drain your energy, and cloud your thinking. And the On the other hand, when you practice positive self-talk, your brain releases feel-good chemicals like dopamine and serotonin. These chemicals don't just make you feel better emotionally, they also improve your focus, boost your energy, and help you perform at your best. It's a biological feedback loop. Positive thoughts lead to positive feelings, which fuel positive actions, which reinforce those thoughts all over again. Think about athletes who use visualization and positive self-talk before a big game. They don't just hope for a win, they tell themselves they're prepared, capable, and ready to conquer. Their bodies respond accordingly, with heightened focus and improved performance. The same principle applies to your daily life. Whether you're preparing for an interview, working on a project, or facing a personal challenge, the way you talk to yourself can either sabotage your efforts or supercharge them. Remember, your brain is always listening. By speaking words of encouragement and belief, you're not just changing your thoughts, you're changing your biology. By encouraging your beliefs, by encouraging the vibration of your beliefs, by encouraging the vibration of your beliefs. Visualization and self-talk go hand in hand. They're like the dynamic duo of personal transformation. When you combine the power of seeing your success with speaking it into existence, you activate something extraordinary in your mind. Visualization helps you picture where you want to go, and self-talk provides the roadmap to get there. Together, they train your brain to focus on the outcome you desire, not the obstacles in your path. Think about it. When you visualize success, you're creating a mental movie of yourself thriving. You see the details, you standing tall, confident, achieving your goal. But visualization alone isn't enough. You've got to pair it with powerful self-talk that reinforces the belief that what you see is possible. It's one thing to imagine yourself winning. It's another to hear yourself say, I've got what it takes to make this real. When you say things like, I'm resourceful and capable, you're programming your brain to align with that image of success. Your brain starts working in the background to bridge the gap between where you are now and where you want to be. It helps you notice opportunities, overcome doubts, and take actions that bring you closer to that vision. This isn't just about positive thinking, it's about training your brain to focus on what you want rather than what you fear. By visualizing and speaking your goals into existence, you're not just daydreaming, you're laying the groundwork for real, measurable change. My friends, the impact of the words you speak to yourself is profound. So much so that they can either serve as the keys to your freedom or build invisible walls around you. When you consistently tell yourself that you're not good enough, not deserving, or not capable, you unknowingly construct a fortress of self-doubt that becomes harder and harder to break through. Those words hold you captive and limit your potential. But when you change the script and speak life into yourself, when you say, I am enough, I deserve success, or I am capable of achieving my dreams, you begin to break down those walls. You start to dismantle the fear and self-doubt that have been holding you back for so long. Your words become a tool of liberation. This isn't about denial. It's about rewriting the narrative that you've been living with. It's about choosing to speak to yourself the way a loving coach would speak to their star player. Encouraging, motivating, and focused on growth. When you stop reinforcing limitations and start reinforcing your worth, you set yourself free. Remember, you are the one who decides whether to let your words imprison you or empower you. Every time you choose to speak kindly, lovingly, and confidently to yourself, you chip away at the walls you've built and move closer to a life of freedom and possibility. It's not about perfection. It's about progress, one empowering word at a time. Self-compassion is often misunderstood. It's not about excusing mistakes or accepting mediocrity. It's about recognizing that you, like every human being, will face challenges, make errors, and encounter setbacks. The difference is in how you treat yourself when things don't go as planned. Too often we beat ourselves up, spiraling into negativity when we fall short. We think that harsh self-criticism will push us to do better, but in reality it only deepens our feelings of inadequacy and fear. And in reality, it only deepens our feelings of inadequacy and fear. Self-compassion, on the other hand, is about offering yourself the same kindness, understanding, and patience you would extend to a friend. It's about acknowledging that mistakes are part of growth, and instead of criticizing yourself for them, you embrace them as opportunities to learn. When you talk to yourself with compassion, you free yourself from the cycle of self-doubt and guilt, allowing your energy and focus to return to what matters: growth, improvement, and forward momentum. Being compassionate with yourself doesn't mean lowering your standards or letting yourself off the hook for bad behavior. It means accepting that you are a work in progress. It means that even in your imperfections, you are worthy of love, respect, and encouragement. It means that when you fall, you pick yourself up gently, learn from the experience, and keep going. When you incorporate self-compassion into your self-talk, it softens the internal narrative and gives you the space to grow without the pressure of perfection. You'll find that with compassion, you're more resilient, more confident, and more motivated to take risks, knowing that you're not defined by your mistakes, but by how you rise from them. Looking into the mirror and speaking positively to yourself might sound like an odd practice, but it's one of the most transformative exercises you can do. When you look at yourself in the mirror, you see more than just your reflection. You see a person with dreams, struggles, and untapped potential. What you say in that moment has the power to either lift you up or reinforce the doubts you've been carrying for too long. The act of mirror talk involves not only speaking words of affirmation, but also truly connecting with yourself. It's about recognizing your worth, not just in the abstract, but in the very real, tangible way you show up each day. When you say, "I am worthy of success," or "I am proud of how far I've come," you're not just offering empty words. You're actively choosing to acknowledge your progress, your value, and your capacity to achieve. It's easy to get caught up in the negativity of everyday life, to see flaws and imperfections before you see the strengths and victories. But by practicing mirror talk, you consciously choose to see the person in the mirror as someone who is capable, someone who is on a journey, and someone who deserves respect. It's a powerful form of self-affirmation that shifts your mindset from one of limitation to one of possibility. When you stand before the mirror and speak with intention, you're not just changing your self-perception. You're building a foundation of self-confidence that will carry over into every area of your life. You'll find that the more you practice mirror talk, the more natural it becomes to approach challenges with a sense of empowerment rather than doubt. And as you continue to affirm your worth in the mirror, you'll begin to see the world around you respond in kind. Gratitude is one of the most powerful forces in the world, and yet it's often overlooked in the process of personal growth. When you're in the middle of pursuing your goals, it's easy to get caught up in what you don't have or what you haven't achieved yet. But when you shift your focus to gratitude, you start to recognize how far you've come, what you've learned, and the abundance that already exists in your life. When you practice gratitude, you begin to speak to yourself with appreciation. Instead of saying, "I'll be happy when I succeed," you start saying, "I am grateful for every step of progress I've made." You begin to acknowledge that even the smallest victories are worth celebrating. This mindset shift helps to reinforce your confidence and keeps you motivated to continue moving forward. Gratitude also impacts your self-talk by changing the tone of your inner dialogue. Instead of using language that's critical or defeatist, Gratitude encourages a mindset of abundance and possibility. You stop focusing on what's missing and start recognizing the opportunities and resources around you. When you say things like, I am grateful for the challenges that have helped me grow, or I appreciate my strengths and my capacity to learn, you're shifting your mindset from scarcity to abundance. And the more you do that, the more challenged things will start to look for you. Gratitude doesn't just help you appreciate the external world, it also deepens your appreciation for yourself. It reminds you that you are worthy of good things and that you have what it takes to create the life you desire. Gratitude grounds you in the present moment, helping you stay focused on your journey without getting distracted by future anxieties or past mistakes. By speaking words of gratitude to yourself, you build a solid foundation for personal growth and inner peace. Negative self-talk is often the result of years of conditioning, sometimes from external sources like family or society, and sometimes from our own inner fears and insecurities. It becomes an automatic response, a default setting whenever things go wrong or when we feel vulnerable. But the truth is, negative self-talk doesn't serve you. It limits you. It keeps you stuck in a loop of self-doubt and discouragement. The good news is that, just like any habit, negative self-talk can be broken. It's not about suppressing your emotions or pretending everything is perfect. It's about changing the narrative. Positive self-talk requires practice and intention, but over time, it becomes easier and more natural. Every time you catch yourself thinking or saying something negative, you have the opportunity to replace it with something more empowering. For example, if you think, I'm terrible at this, replace it with, I'm still learning, and every mistake is a step closer to mastering this. If you say, this is too hard for me, counter it with, I've faced challenges before and I have the strength to handle this one too. It's not about ignoring the reality of difficult situations. It's about reframing them in a way that empowers you instead of discouraging you. Usually take the positive self-talk isn't just a mindset shift. It's a daily practice. It's about choosing to speak to yourself in a way that encourages growth, resilience, and self-compassion. By replacing negative thoughts with constructive and supportive ones, you begin to change how you view yourself and how you approach life's challenges. The more you practice positive self-talk, the more it becomes ingrained in your thinking. Eventually, it will become your automatic response, and you'll find yourself more confident, more motivated, and better equipped to handle whatever comes your way. The power of self-talk is not just in the immediate changes it brings, but in the long-term transformation that can follow when you commit to the practice consistently. The key is to understand that habits take time to form. When you dedicate yourself to positive, intentional self-talk for just 3 days, you're setting a precedent for your mindset to shift permanently. The first 72 hours are crucial because it's a concentrated period during which you begin to disrupt the negative thought patterns that might have been holding you back for years. During this 3-day challenge, you may not see radical overnight changes, and that's okay. But you begin to notice subtle differences, a greater sense of confidence, more energy to face your day, a shift in how you perceive challenges. You'll start to see opportunities where you once saw obstacles. You'll notice how your mood lifts, how you begin to trust yourself more, and how your mindset gradually evolves. These are the early signs that something deeper is taking root. The beauty of this challenge is that it's the beginning of a cycle. The more you practice self-talk, the more it becomes a natural part of your life. It's like exercising the muscle. The more you strengthen it, the more it grows. Over time, this consistent practice of speaking positively to yourself will lead to a fundamental shift in your self-perception and belief system. 3 days may seem like a small commitment, but in that time, you begin to reprogram your mind in ways that have a lasting impact. As you continue beyond those first 3 days, you'll find that the thoughts that used to limit you no longer have the same power. You'll build a new, healthier internal dialogue that supports your goals, your growth, and your vision for your future. Just 3 days of positive self-talk can set you on a path to lasting change. Consistency is the secret ingredient that transforms small actions into lasting results. It's not the grand gestures or moments of intense motivation that lead to sustainable change. It's the everyday choices, the consistent effort, and the small steps that add up over time. Positive self-talk is one of those small steps. But when you commit to it daily, the cumulative effect is nothing short of powerful. And when you commit to it daily, the cumulative effect is nothing short of powerful. In the beginning, the changes may not be immediately visible, and that's where many people falter. We live in a world where instant gratification is the norm, but real transformation takes time. The power of consistency is that it builds momentum. When you repeat positive affirmations and supportive self-talk every day, it starts to stick. It becomes a part of who you are, and you begin to internalize it without having to consciously force it. Vision presses. It goes a bit deeper and will take its place over your mind, and you begin to internalize it without having to consciously force it. Over time, this consistency will change how you approach challenges. It will change how you see yourself, and it will change how you handle setbacks. Instead of giving in to frustration or self-doubt, you'll find yourself using your self-talk to lift you up, to remind you that you're capable and that failure is just a part of the journey. This shift is gradual, but incredibly profound. The key is to stick with it, even on the days when it feels like nothing is changing. Each time you speak positively to yourself, you are laying the foundation for a new mindset. The consistency of that practice will eventually produce a mindset shift that you can rely on for the rest of your life. If you want lasting transformation, consistency isn't optional, it's essential. Your journey toward positive self-talk and transformation isn't one that's meant to be taken alone. In fact, one of the most powerful tools you can have on your path to personal growth is the support of others. The people you surround yourself with have a profound impact on your mindset. If you're constantly surrounded by negativity, doubt, or criticism, it becomes much harder to maintain a positive dialogue within yourself. However, when you connect with those who uplift, encourage, and inspire you, it reinforces your own ability to practice self-talk that's empowering, to take action. And the more and more you do that, the stronger you become. Positive reinforcement from others serves as a mirror for your own inner thoughts. When people recognize your strengths, celebrate your progress, and remind you of your worth, it's much easier to internalize that belief. It creates a cycle where your positive self-talk is amplified by the positive energy and support of those around you. These connections help to solidify the foundation of self-concocedness that you're building with your words. And at the same time, you can also use your positive self-talk to uplift and encourage others. When you start practicing a mindset that focuses on empowerment and growth, it spills over into your interactions with those around you. You'll find yourself offering the same kind of encouragement to others that you're learning to give yourself. This creates an environment of positivity, not just for you, but for the people you care about as well. Remember, growth doesn't happen in isolation. You have the power to shape your own self-talk, but it's often the support of others that helps fuel that growth. Surround yourself with people who elevate you, who challenge you in a positive way, and who believe in your potential. In turn, you'll create a network of positivity that not only strengthens your journey, but also helps others on theirs. The words you speak to yourself influence the trajectory of your entire life. They shape your perspective, inform your decisions, and affect how you show up in the world. If you consistently tell yourself that you're not good enough, not smart enough, or not capable of achieving your dreams, you'll naturally find ways to prove that true. Your thoughts become your reality because your mind is always looking for evidence to support what you believe about yourself. But when you begin to shift your self-talk to one that is supportive and empowering, you start to see the world through a different lens. Instead of seeing obstacles as insurmountable, you'll begin to view them as challenges to be overcome. Instead of seeing setbacks as failures, you'll start to recognize them as lessons that are part of your growth. The more you practice positive self-talk, the more you start to believe in your own potential, and that belief drives your actions and results. Your thoughts lead to feelings, and those feelings lead to actions. When you speak to yourself with love, encouragement, and confidence, your actions begin to reflect that belief. You're more likely to take bold steps, to show up in situations with clarity, and to make decisions that align with your highest potential. The more you reinforce these positive beliefs through self-talk, the more they become ingrained in your identity. But there's something else that's crucial here. Self-talk isn't just about affirming your abilities. It's about speaking with integrity, acknowledging both your strengths and areas for growth, and choosing to see yourself as worthy of success even when things aren't perfect. You're not just telling yourself what you want to hear. You're reminding yourself that you have the power to grow, to learn, and to rise, no matter where you are right now. Positive self-talk is about creating a vision for yourself and then taking action to make that vision a reality. The journey to mastering positive self-talk is not a one-time event. It's a continuous process, a practice that you'll refine and strengthen over time. Like any habit, it takes patience, persistence, and a willingness to keep going even when you don't see immediate results. But what you'll find as you commit to this practice is that it's the small, incremental improvements that accumulate into something powerful. Every moment you spend speaking kindly to yourself adds up, gradually transforming your inner dialogue. In the beginning, it may feel awkward or forced. You might not immediately believe the affirmations or positive statements you're saying, but that's okay. The key is consistency. The more you repeat those words, whether you believe them at first or not, the more your mind starts to accept them as truth. Over time, those positive affirmations will shift from being something you have to remind yourself to believe to becoming a natural part of your inner dialogue. It's important to acknowledge that growth is not linear. There will be moments when you slip back into old patterns of thinking, when negative thoughts creep in, and when your self-talk feels anything but positive. But instead of seeing those moments as setbacks, recognize them as opportunities to strengthen your resolve. You are building a new muscle, and muscles take time to grow. In those moments of doubt, simply return to the practice of positive self-talk and give yourself the grace to keep going. Remember, the journey isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Each day you commit to speaking positively to yourself, you take one more step toward creating the mindset that will support your dreams and goals. It's not about erasing the negative thoughts altogether, but about choosing to focus more on the empowering ones. Over time, you'll find that the scale tips in favor of positive thinking, and your world will begin to shift in response to the new narrative you've created for yourself. This process may take time, but the results will be worth it. Stay committed, and the transformation will unfold. The journey to cultivating positive self-talk is deeply personal. And while it can be transformative, it's important to understand that the impact of this practice extends far beyond the individual. As you begin to speak to yourself with kindness, encouragement, and belief in your potential, you will naturally begin to radiate that same energy outward. The way you talk to yourself doesn't just affect your own mindset, it influences the way you interact with others, the opportunities you attract, and the environment you create around you. And when you speak positively to yourself, you start to walk with more confidence, more assurance. You begin to take up space in the world and show up authentically. Your belief in yourself becomes infectious, and people around you start to notice. The power of this energy is undeniable. It not only transforms your own experience, but also has the power to uplift those around you. But it goes even deeper. As you begin to believe in your own worth and speak to yourself with respect and encouragement, you set a standard for others to follow. You become an example of what it means to show up for yourself, to acknowledge your value, and to pursue your goals with unshakable confidence. This ripple effect can create a positive cycle where your growth inspires others to believe in their own worth and pursue their own goals with the same level of confidence and determination. Ultimately, the power of self-talk isn't just about changing your own mindset. It's about contributing to a larger movement of empowerment, where people are encouraged to lift each other up, pursue their dreams, and step into their full potential. As you continue to practice positive self-talk, you'll begin to see that the benefits extend far beyond your own life. They'll be part of a collective shift, one that fosters a world where people are confident in their abilities, compassionate with themselves, and fully committed to their growth. The impact of this journey is not just personal, it's communal, and it has the power to change the world.